The
Yes,
screen,
sir.
my voice is clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start the session. Now here we have explained the air masses and the associated weather dynamics. How do air mass influence the weather conditions of the northern hemisphere? So this question is of 2024. This is for 20 minutes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So an air mass refers to a large body of air with relatively uniform temperature and moisture characteristics that extends horizontally across vast geographic regions for thousands of kilometers and can reach from ground level to upper troposphere. So this we can say introduction is very good with definition.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we can also add a condition, a word that is uniform and homogeneous. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so this can be added up here. So we are taking temperature condition, moisture condition. In certain parts, we can also add up here with respect to the stability and instability.
Hmm.
Okay, so these conditions are also quite constant here. Now, the formation of air masses. So air masses are formed under over extensive source regions. Okay, they form mostly over the areas that have atmospheric stability and high pressure conditions. Very good. The air masses acquire the characteristic properties from the source region. Okay, very good. So here we see that we have the different air masses. Okay, so here you
Yes,
can
sir.
also provide it on the map part here. This is equator. This is 30 degree, 60 degree, and this is 90 degree. So here we'll be seeing that we have the source region as this high pressure region and another this high pressure region. So this is subtropical region and this is polar region.
Yes.
So these are the two regions where there is formation or the development of the air masses.
Hmm.
Okay. Now in the next part, okay, this is the world air mass map. Okay, this is for the general overall for the answers. Okay. So weather dynamics associated with the air masses. Air masses influence weather conditions in the regions they invade. They bring changes in temperature, moisture, atmospheric stability. Very good. So formation of fronts and temperate cyclones, for example, maritime tropical air mass from Gulf of Mexico collides with continental polar. Okay, precipitation and thunderstorm. Okay, okay. So impact on monsoon in the South Asia, the movement of city air mass north of subcontinent interacts with monsoon winds. They bring rainfall in India. Okay. Formation of fog. When moisture mass advex over cold surface, it cools from below, reaching dew point, condensation, and resulting in fog. Okay. California coast, north. This is what? North Sea fog. Okay, so empty moves over NW. So cold waves, the CP air masses originates over Canada and Siberia. It moves south in under strong high pressure systems. This can trigger cold waves when temperature drops suddenly. Okay. Okay. So first starting with this part here, what we can do here, we have provided here formation of air masses. Okay. Then we have also provided here the types of air masses. That is the continental air mass and the the maritime air mass. Then we have uh, the tropical air mass and the polar air mass. Okay, so on the combination of this, we have the development of various air masses. Now, here we'll be seeing that the air masses, they are classified under the two parts. One is S is standing for the stable air mass and U is standing for the unstable air mass. Okay, similarly, we'll be seeing that stable condition, it is related with the high pressure conditions, and the unstable condition, it is related with the low pressure conditions. Therefore, it is becoming unstable. Now, next thing what we can add up here, we can add the the movement of air mass. The movement of air mass, for example, a air mass which is moving from a cold region. So it will be denoted as K. Okay. And the air mass which is moving from the warm region, it is denoted as K and W, I think it is. Okay. So what we can do here, we can, when we use K, C, P, so this is denoted as the modified air mass, and W, T, WMT. So this is also modified air mass, which has moved out of this region. So we can use also these particular words because this question is almost for 20 marks. So we can provide that how it is originating, where it is originating, and how the modification of the air masses is also taking place here, which is basically helping us to understand the weather dynamics associated with the air masses. Okay. So here we can use this part here, that the front formation, the temperate cyclone formations, and temperate cyclone. So when we are forming fronts and temperate cyclone, you can add here the polar front theory, which uses the concept of air masses for the formation of the temperate cyclones. Okay, it was given by Berkeley's. So this can be added up here. Okay, in the Southeast Asia also we have this phenomena. So this was actually explained by Fong. Okay, so Fong has explained this phenomena under the dynamic concept, which actually included the jet streams. Okay, and under the jet streams, we have the warm front and cold front. So this can also be added here. Okay, perception can be added up here. Then formation of fogs also. Okay, fog, we can see that. It is also quite well explained here. So here we can see that uh, means here we don't need to add up anything. Cold waves, okay, originates over the Canada and moves towards the southern part under the strong high pressure system. So here you can add up a part of the uh, Rossby cycle through which the warm front. Okay, you can add up Rossby cycle also, and there is a normal movement of the warm front and cold front is taking place from the regions. Okay, so here modification of air winds. So this can be added. So air mass influence the weather condition of North Hemisphere. So North American part in winter times, CP air mass triggers extreme cold conditions in USA. Okay. CP modifies to CPK after reaching Great Lakes regions and causes rainfall in Appalachian Mountains. This is called lake effect. Okay. Okay, so CP we have used here and K is for modification. Okay, so I was saying the same thing here, that the modified air masses, so Canadian Highland, Great Lakes, and Appalachians. Okay, so this is a very well represented. Then the MP air masses origins near the Greenland and Newfoundland. It brings bad weather conditions, which is locally known as northeasterlies, strong northeast cold winds. Okay, so MP causing colder weather in the northeast America. Okay, in summer, the empty air mass moves northward and raises temperature across southern and eastern US and causes cloud cover and showers. It clashes with the cold CP air mass and reduces its impact. Okay, so empty air masses. Okay, you can also write it here W for the warm part because it is also modified.
Okay.
Okay, so under the region of Asia, the CP air masses originate over Siberia and Mongolia are very cold and dry. This air mass moves eastward and affect weather of China. Good. In Beijing region, prolonged cold spells occurs in winter. Very good. In summer season, CP air mass produces cyclonic conditions while empty air mass causes monsoon rains in China and India. Okay, very good here. Okay, so CP air mass and empty air masses. So you can also put up here a case of the Himalayas, which is present in Asia.
I
While we
have
have,
written in the next point.
okay, you have given a case of Himalayas here. Okay, then you can have the comparison with the North American one. Okay, why
Yes.
we have the Asia region. Okay, for example, the complete region of China and Siberia and the region of North America. Okay, so here we see that we have Rockies in this part, we have Appalachians here. So here the CP air masses, it directly moves towards the tropical region. Okay, but here the
Mm.
CP air masses, they are stopped by the Himalayas here. Okay, so therefore we
Yes.
see that there is a difference between the region of Asia and North America. The climatic conditions. So this is a physical barrier which is present here. Okay, CP air mass can't enter India due to presence of Himalayas as physical barrier. Thus, India is safe from the cold winds associated with CP air mass. Okay, very well explained. The southwest summer monsoons of Indian subcontinent are typical representation of maritime tropical air masses. Okay, Europe, the absence of effective mountain barriers along the west coast. Okay, very well explained. Areas of Europe allows maritime air mass to penetrate to continent up to the great distances inland. Okay, very good here. The MP air mass brings mild wet conditions in Western Europe. Okay, UK and France. Okay, maritime polar. Maritime tropical air masses, mostly in summers, can bring brief warm spells to the Western Europe. Okay, Arctic air masses causes extreme cold in the Scandinavia, that is Northern Europe. Okay, CP air mass brings cold waves and front from the east. Yes, common saying in Europe, beast from the east. Okay, this is also very well written. So air masses are fundamental drivers of regional and seasonal weather patterns across the globe. Understanding air masses is essential to interpreting and predicting climate behavior and variation. So this is a very good conclusion. Okay, so here we can see that a very well answer is provided here. Okay, we will see here that a very high emphasis is given on the explanation of the air masses and its influence over the weather conditions of northern hemisphere. But I would like you to have an equal emphasis that explain air masses and associated weather dynamics here. So formation of air mass we have explained, weather dynamics in terms of temperature, moisture, atmospheric stability, formation of fronts, impact on monsoon, formation of fogs, cold waves. Okay. Apart from this, you can also add up here that how instability is developed here. Okay. So you can use this phenomena, that is this unstable air mass, which is associated with low pressure condition, and stable air mass, which is associated with high pressure condition. Okay. So this can be explained well because it is added up here that associated weather condition, how the cyclone, anticyclone is also formed here. Then the movement of the air mass and the modification of air mass. Okay, this can also be explained here that how they are getting modified. So because this is also one of the condition which is explaining us that how these conditions are changing. Okay, then
Sir, I
you have,
have a question.
yeah.
So, as you mentioned that I can explain the modification of air masses. So, should I include that part in this weather dynamics associated with air mass subtopic? And I can explain the weather dynamics that are associated with the modification of air masses. So, I can like I'll be explaining the modification also, and I'll be explaining how that modification causes weather dynamics in particular area.
Actually, so what is happening here? Air mass is there. And air mass, when it is modified, it is changing the weather dynamics, right?
Yeah.
So if the weather dynamic, it can be either from warm to cold or it can be from cold to warm.
Hmm.
Okay, so both conditions are changing the weather dynamics. So actually, we
Hmm.
have to include an aspect of the modification of air mass and how it is impacting the associated weather dynamics.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is one part here. Okay, so there are certain things, and we can include in certain part the various theoretical aspects. Okay, where it is needed, and rest you have very well explained. I will give you 3 stars here that the air mass influence the weather conditions of northern hemisphere. So this is very well explained, I will say here, with the diagrams and with
Thank you, sir.
everything that you have provided here. So I will say that yes, this is enough, but yes, we have to do this a bit short, okay, and you have to explain this part here more.
So if I will be including the wave theory as you mentioned
Hmm.
and the font theory, so won't it be longer? Like it would be much longer answer.
You
I have
just
to.
need to include the names only.
Okay.
You
Okay,
don't
sir.
need to explain polar front theory, but as it is explained well by the polar front theory, so you can just write here, as explained by Perkins in the polar front theory, the maritime tropical masses and air masses from Gulf of Mexico collides with continental polar CP for formation of temperate cyclones and thunderstorms. That's
Yes,
much.
sir.
So it is
Okay, sir.
okay. So we
And
don't.
so one
Hmm.
more question. How can I shorten the answer as I am experiencing this that every answer that write, I have so much to write and I cannot concise the content. As you can see in this answer also.
Actually, this is an issue. What happens here? When we have a lot of content, so we just write and write and write. So sometimes it happens that a few points which were also important, they are missed out. Okay. So for this part, you have to first start making the structure of answer.
Hmm.
Okay. In structure of answer, what things I have to include?
Hmm.
So for example, if the structure is not present and I am writing something in 50 words, but
Yes,
now I have
sir.
made a structure, so what I can do, I can concise it in 30 words. So this will happen when you will start structuring the answer before writing the answer.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes,
So
sir.
uh, what I will do here, Neha, actually I have to reach somewhere at 5:30. So that is quite important.
Okay.
So actually I thought we would start at 4. So not an issue. We will
Sorry,
do
sir.
one
I
thing
just
here.
slept.
Yeah, no, no, no issue, no issue. We will continue back at 9 p.m. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we'll continue at 9 p.m. and we'll discuss further questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So welcome, Neha, and see you in the next session.
Okay, sir.